Welcome to Heels Bible Readings.
What do you want to say?
Mama Chat will be with you shortly. If you need prayer, don't hesitate to ask. Jesus loves you. God bless.
Oh, you're going to be a grandma again. That's amazing. How many grandbabies do you have? Welcome, everybody. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a clip of Shiloh's little intro for me there, so I can keep it. It was so cute. How's everybody doing? He likes to do the little emojis. I'm not even sure what that last one there is. I think it's sending love or something, but now that I look at it, it almost looks like some sort of like that Ohm stuff. 2 from my oldest, and now my middle daughter's pregnant. Oh, first one for her. That's awesome. You're probably going to hear the kittens playing on the bed here. So tonight we are starting in 2 Kings. We'll be in 2 Kings and Chronicles for a lot of it here. But we are going to read Jonah and touch on Isaiah. I think I will be at least reading chapters 1 through 4. Oh, hey, Katrina, how are you? It's been okay-ish today, but I've had this horrible, horrible headache all day. I was in bed almost the whole day, not sleeping, just not really able to function. And so I didn't get my desk together, didn't finish my room or anything. But I did take part of a muscle relaxer just before I popped on here, so hopefully that will help, because so far nothing else is. But other than that, I'm good. I ordered some pizza. I had some points from pizza we ordered a while back on Domino's, so we got a discount on pizza, and I ordered a couple pizzas, and we ended up eating it in my room, which is not something we do. So Shiloh was dancing around saying, "Yay, pizza party," and stuff, you know. It was cute, but yeah, just something different. You could use a muscle relaxer or a pizza party. Or both. I did, while listening back, here you're probably going to hear me taking off my phone case. Oh, you guys see that pop up? That's that check SIM card tray. I see that 40 times a day or something now. It's really frustrating. Okay, so I noticed when I was listening back, because it was funny, Kenny couldn't remember much about Elijah. And so I just pulled up my live because I just read a bunch last night. And I could hear a whole bunch of clicking. And I didn't know you guys were hearing that. But I'm almost certain that it's coming from my phone case. So I took it off. And hopefully that will help with that. I'm thinking by Monday I'll have my computer and everything set up. And I'll be back to using a mic instead of sitting here holding my phone. So... Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I keep hearing people mention this storm. And I'm not sure what's going on. But I wondered if that's why I had such a bad headache. Hey, Nellie. Is it just everywhere? I'm gonna look up my weather, I guess. Let's see. It doesn't seem like it's supposed to be bad here. 45 on Saturday, 44 on Sunday. What I had seen earlier today, I had a headache, so I didn't end up reading the article, but there was something about a storm coming in February. I can't even talk. And it seems like it was about pressure or something, and that's what made me think of maybe my headache was caused by it. But then again, if it's not until February, then... Oh, mostly the southern. Okay, yeah. Oh, hey, Grizzly. How are you? Welcome to everybody just coming in. God bless you. If anybody needs prayer, of course, don't hesitate to ask. And if you weren't here at the start, it might be worth rewinding to hear Shiloh's little intro. I think it was about 5 minutes into the video. Yeah, Grizzly is one of the ones that got a free membership that night. It doesn't let me pick who they go to. And I thought that you had to be actively at the live to receive one. But it said I only had a couple people in here and gave 4 people memberships. And then later I gave away another 5. And then it randomly chose another person. But it didn't tell me. It was really odd how it did it. And they say they prioritize people that are active. So when I said it and then I went live, I didn't realize it would give it right away. I thought it would wait until, there were actually people here. So it did it immediately. Okay, so I'm sure you guys see on the screen We are in 2 Kings 5. Wait, hold on a second. Katrina, did you just get a membership? I don't think I've... Ah, my screen just popped down. I don't, it's odd how it works. Wow. Okay, yeah, it just comes up green. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I'm pretty sure you've been quite the contributor around here. Am I right? I think I'm right. And I appreciate you very much. Truly. I appreciate all of you. Okay, so let me take a drink and then we will be off and running. Actually, before we start, I want to see if I can show you this thing. My son printed this for me a little while back and I have it ready because I'm going to hang it on my desk. Hang on just a sec. Let me see if I can get it. Okay. Are you guys able to see? I think you can. I don't know if you can see the different colors. It's just like a little plaque. Well, it's not tiny, but it's a plaque. And I designed it and I had him print it with this like really cool I don't know. It changes colors kind of thing. Sorry, my brain is not working because of my headache, but and then the white over it. So it's like set in. Oh, here, it might help if I do this and make it bigger. You see? And it's just really colorful behind there. And I just love it. The Lion of Judah, of course. Okay, now I can look at the... Yeah. I really love some of the things that he can print on there. He's not one... He's really... He only wants to do print to order because he doesn't really like how everybody just prints a bunch of plastic stuff that people play with for a minute and then toss in the landfill kind of thing. So he actually started offering stuff, and his business is called Set Apart 3D Printing. But he doesn't like to do business. And I said, well, I can do that for you. And then he's going to start again making videos, and I'm going to edit the videos to put onto his TikTok and stuff like that. And it'll be, because right now I'm super excited. He's printing me the full armor of God, and I'm really stoked about that. And he's also going to print me like a sign for my desk area that says Mama Church and stuff like that. So that should be fun. Yeah, and basically every desk, I guess, now comes with the RBG lights. So that wasn't something I was looking for, but it came with my desk anyway. So it'll be fun. Let's see, the way you said what? What sounds accusatory? Oh, Kenneth's doing. Yeah, I designed it, and well, I told him what I wanted, showed him picture examples, and he did the like architecture or whatever of it, because you have to with the white on top. At the time, he didn't have the thing that goes on the printer that makes it so it can pull several different filaments at a time. So he had to set it to do it at certain depths and all this and that. You'd go crazy just printing stuff. Yeah, I'm not good at the whole designing stuff, but he is. Okay. Oh no, here I yapped so much that I need to take another drink, and then and then we will dig in, guys. Again, if anybody needs prayer, of course, don't hesitate to ask. You'd print a Bible. Actually, it might be cool to print the 10 Commandments on the tablets. You know, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited for the armor of God he's printing for me. I have my little character dressed in the armor of God. I don't know. I think it's on my buy me a coffee. Okay. Now Naaman, captain of the army of the king of Aram, was a great man with his master and highly respected, because by him the Lord had given victory to Aram. The man was also a valiant warrior, but he was a leper. Now the Arameans had gone out in bands and had taken captive a little girl from the land of Israel, and she waited on Naaman's wife. She said to her mistress, I wish that my master were with the prophet who is in Samaria. Then he would cure him of his leprosy. Naaman went in and told his master, saying, Thus and thus spoke the girl who is from the land of Israel. Then the king of Aram said, Go now, and I will send a letter to the king of Israel. He departed and took with him 10 talents of silver and 6,000 shekels of gold and 10 changes of clothes. Can you guys tell me, are you hearing those clicks? I took my phone case off, so I'm hoping that's what was causing it. I don't know if you guys even have noticed it before, but I would imagine you have. Unless it's only on the replay for some reason. Okay, but do you usually hear them? Because if you used to and don't now, then hopefully it is just my phone case and it won't be there anymore. He brought the letter to the king of Israel, saying, And now as this letter comes to you, behold, I have sent Naaman my servant to you, that you may cure him of his leprosy. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, well, you have a lot to ignore around here then, girl, because, oh, the last couple nights, because Hattie's been in heat, she gets spayed on, is it Monday or Tuesday, the 27th, and praise God for that, because I don't know if you guys know what Misphonia is, but I have it, and her caterwauler drives me up a wall. I do my best to be patient, but I'll tell you what, we'll all be glad when that's over and done with. Okay. When the king of Israel read the letter, he tore his clothes and said, Am I God to kill and to make alive, that this man is sending word to me to cure a man of his leprosy? But consider now and see how he is seeking a quarrel against me. It happened when Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had torn his clothes, that he sent word to the king, saying, Why have you torn your clothes? Now let him come to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel. So Naaman came with his horses and his chariots and stood at the doorway of the house of Elisha. Yeah, see, Elisha doesn't sound right to me. I just say shh, stronger than j. Elijah and Elisha. What do you guys do? Okay. Oh, I'm glad you like it that I stopped to talk, because sometimes I feel like I get carried away and then I feel a little bit silly. Yes, when someone smacks while eating, um, that and just anything repetitive. And I also have this, I don't know, just in the last couple years, I hear sounds from a different direction than they're actually coming from. Um, it was ridiculous when I was a dialysis tech, because an alarm would go off and I would look the way I thought it came from, and then I would end up doing a full sweep of the room to see where the alarm was coming from. I'm glad you love my yapping. Okay. Elisha sent a messenger to him, saying, "Go and wash in the Jordan 7 times, and your flesh will be restored to you, and you will be clean." But Naaman was furious and went away and said, "Behold, I thought he will surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God, and wave his hand over the place and cure the leper. Are not Abana and Pharpar, the rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? Could I not wash in them and be clean?" So he turned and went away in a rage. Then his servants came near and spoke to him and said, "My father, had the prophet told you to do some great thing, would you not have done it? How much more then, when he says to you, 'Wash and be clean'?" So he went down and dipped himself 7 times in the Jordan, according to the word of the man of God, and his flesh was restored like the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. When he returned to the man of God with all his company and came and stood before him, he said, "Behold, now I know that there is no God in all the earth but in Israel. So please take a present from your servant now." But he said, "As the Lord lives, before whom I stand, I will take nothing." And he urged him to take it, but he refused. Naaman said, "If not, please let your servant at least be given 2 mules' load of earth. For your servant will no longer offer burnt offering, nor will he sacrifice to other gods, but to the Lord. In this matter may the Lord pardon your servant when my master goes into the house of Rimmon to worship there, and he leans on my hand, and I bow myself in the house of Rimmon. When I bow myself in the house of Rimmon, the Lord pardon your servant in this matter." He said to him, "Go in peace." So he departed from him some distance. But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, thought, "Behold, my master has spared this Naaman the Aramean by not receiving from his hands what he brought. As the Lord lives, I will run after him and take something from him." So Gehazi pursued Naaman. When Naaman saw one running after him, he came down from the chariot to meet him and said, "Is all well?" He said, "All is well. My master has sent me, saying, Behold, just now 2 young men of the sons of the prophets have come to me from the hill country of Ephraim. Please give them a talent of silver and 2 changes of clothes." Naaman said, "Be pleased to take 2 talents." And he urged him, and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 changes of clothes, and gave them to 2 of his servants, and they carried them before him. When he came to the hill, he took them from their hand and deposited them in the house, and he sent the men away, and they departed. But he went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said to him, "Where have you been, Gehazi?" And he said, "Your servant nowhere." Then he said to him, "Did not my heart go with you when the man turned from his chariot to meet you? Is it a time to receive money and to receive clothes and olive groves and vineyards and sheep and oxen and male and female servants? Therefore the leprosy of Naaman shall cling to you and to your descendants forever." So he went out from his presence, a leper as white as snow. And that was chapter 5. What's going on, guys? Let me look. It's cutting out? Uh-oh. Here, I'm going to pull it up myself and hear what I hear on the... Nor will he sacrifice to other gods, but to the Lord. In this now to young men of the sun, alarm would go off, and I are not Abana and Pharpar, the river wasn't from your, for your servant will no longer offer. It sounds like it might have been skipping a little bit. To other gods, but to, huh. Sorry about that. Oh, you guys heard it fine? Are you... I think Carla generally watches on the long form. Are you on a laptop, Nellie? Or on mobile? I mean, I know it's being streamed from mobile, but now the mobile stream will actually go into the other one as well. The wrong letter? Yeah, I heard it on the playback a little bit too. And that's on my laptop. So, are you on a laptop, Carla, or on your phone? Because it streams to both now. I gotta turn off my heat. Although I wish I had some heat for my neck. I could go fill a bag of rice or a sock with rice or whatever, but... Okay. Oh. Huh. I don't know. YouTube has also all sorts of issues anymore, so... Bring some back for me. I was actually considering getting a cup of coffee because I thought maybe some caffeine would help this headache. Okay. So how was everybody's week? I was surprised because I thought yesterday was Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. Now I'm confused. Okay. Let me see. Does she have a new... Well, I am drinking soda. I'm drinking a Pepsi. But, JoJo inspired... Oh, yeah, it's still tangled. Chocolate. Chocolate actually gives me headaches. I'm allergic to it. I know what everybody will say because I've heard it my whole life. You did? Really? Nelly, you dog you. So you told him then, or did he approach you? You gotta give me the deets, girl. I can live vicariously. I do have some every now and again. And if I just have a little bit, it's not so bad. But if I eat very much or if it's like dark chocolate, then it's worse. Cats are at the door. Oh, goodness. I'm gonna have to let them in. Okay. Oh, I don't know about you, sir. You gonna behave? Oh, they're all flooding in. Come on. I still haven't gotten WD-40 for my door. Come on, Weezy. Of course my Queenie face is allowed. Come along. Dainty little slow walking in. Oh, my goodness. We have been live for how long? And we should, come on, Weezy. Don't you bite my laptop. I don't know why, but they're always trying to bite the screen. We should really have a chat for those who aren't in the Discord. Are you stuck? Okay, don't claw my bed. Okay, let me check up here. It was in prayer. He was like, "You can hold my hand," and I was like, "Oh, my bad." And then he said, "I swear I wished it." And then I smacked his hand and grabbed it. Ooh, so it's mutual. That's so cute. Okay. The laptop stream is faster. Oh, there's a delay on the mobile. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me either. You guys want to say hi? Is that what's going on here? I don't know if I can get the thing to work. Daniel. No, then he walks away. Queenie face. Say hello. Come here, Gary. You want to say hello too? Oh, hi, Lulu. Say hello. I don't even know. I can't look at the screen and... Okay. Did you see the kibbies? Yeah, I used to really like white chocolate. Mostly because I was a kid and it was chocolate, and I got something. But now it's so super sweet. You know what I really enjoy is dark chocolate, which is a tiny bit of white chocolate. But most of the time it's not worth the headache. Hey, you okay? Acting a little weird. Okay, so let's dive back in. I am in chapter... Did I read 5? Yeah, we're in chapter 6. Yeah, milk chocolate is good, but I don't know, the older I get, the more sweeter things seem. Okay, now the sons of the prophets said to Elisha, "Behold now, the place before you where you are living is too limited for us. Please let us go to the Jordan, and each of us take from there a beam, and let us make a place there for ourselves where we may live." So he said, "Go." Then one said, "Please be willing to go with your servants." And he answered, "I shall go." So he went with them, and when they came to the Jordan, they cut down trees. But as one was felling a beam, the axe head fell into the water, and he cried out and said, "Alas, my master, for it was borrowed." I love that prayer hit list. Yeah, he'll just be on my actual hit list if he messes with Nellie. No, I'm kidding. But yes, that's very sweet. Okay, but as one was felling, oh, we read that part. Goodness, my brain. Catch up. Baby Mado. Then the man of God said, "Where did it fall?" And when he showed him the place, he cut off a stick and threw it in there and made the iron float. He said, "Take it up for yourself." So he put out his hand and took it. And that's interesting how they said, "Alas, my master, for it was borrowed when it had fallen." I thought, why is he lying? But he knew exactly what he meant. Hey, you, do you want to get up on your soft, cozy spot in the hutch? There you go. Well, let's just hope that isn't a concern. Hey, hey, be careful now. Don't tear the blanket. Oh, I wanted to pose this question that I actually mentioned to you earlier, Carla. If you could spend some time with, have a chat with, eat lunch with, whatever, someone from the Bible, don't knock over the laptop, other than Jesus, of course, who would you choose? And tell me why. Now the king of Aram was warring against Israel, and he counseled with his servants, saying, "In such and such a place shall be my camp." The man of God sent word to the king of Israel, saying, "Beware that you do not pass this place, for the Arameans are coming down there." The king of Israel sent to the place about which the man of God had told him. Thus he warned him, so that he guarded himself there more than once or twice. Now the heart of the king of Aram was enraged over this thing, and he called his servants and said to them, "Will you tell me which of us is for the king of Israel?" One of his servants said, "No, my lord, O king, but Elisha, the prophet, who is in Israel, tells the king of Israel the words that you speak in your bedroom." So he said, "Go and see where he is, that I may send and take him." And it was I skipped a line. And it was told him, saying, "Behold, he is in Dothan." He sent horses and chariots and a great army there, and they came by night and surrounded the city. My brain is not working very well tonight, apparently. Now when the attendant of the man of God had risen early and gone out, behold, an army with horses and chariots was circling the city. And his servant said to him, "Alas, my master, what shall we do?" So he answered, "Do not fear, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them." Then Elisha prayed and said, "O Lord, I pray, open his eyes that he may see." And the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. I love it. That's so awesome. When they came down to him, Elisha prayed to the Lord and said, "Strike this people with blindness, I pray." So he struck them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. Hey, did you get your... What are you seeing? Are you drunk, kitten? Go home, you're drunk. Here you go. Looking for that? Flipped her toy back behind herself and then proceeded to try and attack the laptop to find it. Okay. Bloop. There you go. Okay. Then Elisha said to them, "This is not the way, nor is this the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom you seek." And he brought them to Samaria. When they had come into Samaria, Elisha said, "O Lord, open the eyes of these men, that they may see." So the Lord opened their eyes, and they saw, and behold, they were in the midst of Samaria. Then the king of Israel, when he saw them, said to Elisha, "My father, shall I kill them? Shall I kill them?" He answered, "You shall not kill them. Would you kill those you have taken captive with your sword and with your bow? Set bread and water before them, that they may eat and drink, and go to their master." So he prepared a great feast for them, and when they had eaten and drunk, he sent them away, and they went to their master. And the marauding bands of Arameans did not come again into the land of Israel. Now it came about after this that Ben-hadad, king of Aram, gathered all his army and went up and besieged Samaria. There was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it, until a donkey's head was sold for 80 shekels of silver, and a fourth of a cab of doves' dung for 5 shekels of silver. As the king of Israel was passing by on the wall, a woman cried out to him, saying, "Help, my lord, O the king." Ugh, I totally botched that one. "Help, my lord, O king." He said, "If the Lord does not help you, from where shall I help you? From the threshing floor or from the winepress?" And the king said to her, "What is the matter with you?" I don't know why that strikes me as funny. And she answered, "This woman said to me, 'Give your son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow.'" So that literally turns my stomach, you guys. "So we boiled my son and ate him. Hey. And I said to her on the next day, 'Give your son that we may eat him.' But she has hidden her son." When the king heard the words of the woman, he tore his clothes. Now he was passing by on the wall, and the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth beneath on his body. Then he said, "May God do so to me, and more also, if the head of Elisha the son of Shaphat remains on him today." Hey, James, how are you feeling? I'm so glad you're here. Are you at work tonight? Yeah, what did you just hear? I know. It just turns my stomach. Oh, the thought. I mean, this is one of those times when I'm glad I have aphantasia. Because I don't want to picture eating my child. Ugh. Now Elisha was sitting in his house, and the elders were sitting with him. And the king sent a man from his presence. But before the messenger came to him, he said to the elders, "Do you see how this son of a murderer has sent to take away my head? Look, when the messenger comes, shut the door and hold the door shut against him. Is not the sound of his master's feet behind him?" While he was still talking with them, behold, the messenger came down to him, and he said, "Behold, this evil is from the Lord. Why should I wait for the Lord any longer?" And that was chapter 6. Oh no, did you picture yourself eating your son? Or did you picture yourself eating my son, weirdo? Nelly. Sorry guys, I'm in the mood to harass. It's so funny. I think it was Rebel in Discord earlier. Said sorry I hadn't been able to make it to your streams the last couple nights or something. And so often people say to me, "Oh, I'm sorry I wasn't at the live." And I'm like, "Don't apologize. It's okay. Don't worry about it." And then today I just felt ornery and I was like, "How dare you," in all caps. Let's see. Well, I mean, they are delicious morsels. They're my children after all. They have to be quite tasty, I would think. But not much meat to go around. You don't have a children. That's why. You have to laugh or... Ugh. It's just the thought. And people... The sacrificing your child thing hasn't ended. It's just taken on a different way, I guess. Okay. Oh, actually, while I'm thinking about that, let me go to my channel real quick. Because I want to check something. Oh, well, yeah, that too. But abortion is what usually comes to mind for me. Let me see. Go to my shorts, because my views have, at least on shorts, once again tanked, and I think it's probably okay. There's the post I made. Yeah, right after I posted, it's a remix of a video about abortion, and since then, I mean, my videos have just tanked. Most of them are under 100, and that's been, I don't know how long ago. Let me see. I don't know, maybe a week and a half or something like that. So they are punishing me, but I do not care. Oh, no, there's absolutely no justification in my eyes or in the heart of God, if you ask me, for abortion. Yeah. Yeah, um, they don't want the word of God out there too much, especially if it starts pushing it on the agenda, you know? So it, oh my goodness. My kitten was just sitting there. She was starting to fall asleep, but then all of a sudden, bam, her head just hit the bed. She dropped like at least 2 inches onto the bed. Silly girl. Oh, I don't feel, I mean, I suppose you could call that persecution, but I don't feel like I'm being persecuted. I just feel like it's, you know, it's kind of the way things are. And I know that God will get the word to where it needs to go, you know. Okay. Are we reading through? Yes, we're reading to 8. James, I'm glad you're here because we're going to be reading some Isaiah tonight. I actually was going to read further the last couple nights, but I knew we were starting to get into Isaiah territory. And you had mentioned that you were excited for that book. Let's see, James said, most women who have abortions are pressured into it by other people. It's not something they would naturally do. I don't know if it's most women. I haven't looked at the statistics to comment on that part of it, but I do know that that is true for many. Also, I know that unless they are completely given over to their retrograde minds, they will suffer, and maybe even then, but most women regret it, and they have mental health issues for years or the rest of their lives unless, you know, they ask forgiveness and feel that redemption. It's horrible. It's not just that you've murdered a baby. It's that what a lot of people don't know is every time you have a child, a little bit of their DNA remains in you. We don't just give them our DNA, some of it's in us. So you wonder why mothers, especially of many children, tend to have a hard time recovering or things change about them over the years. Like, I think that's a big part of it, you know? Like, I've been pregnant 9 times, so I have, you know, the DNA of 9 children. And that can be positive as well, obviously, but you do change. So I think when people think you're just getting rid of a problem, which is so, I don't know. It's crazy to me. I don't know. I shouldn't even get into this because I start getting flustered. But yeah, exactly. Or some of them, I think they try to act like they're okay, so they'll be, you know, kind of gross about it or vile about it or make jokes or, but It eats at them. I mean, you can't kill somebody without feeling it. Even when you kill somebody in self-defense, it affects you. So an innocent, preborn baby. Yes. When I was, let's see, I was either 15 or 16. I had a friend that I worked with at my first job, and she thought she was pregnant, and she was talking about having an abortion. And I said, I will adopt your baby. I said, you can be in the baby's life, or you don't have to be in the baby's life. You don't have to pay child support, any of that. I said, me and I guarantee my mom will take that baby, no questions asked. And then I went home after work, and my mom was like, of course, definitely, because just like me, she was 150% against it. It turned out that she was not pregnant, but people always want to say, oh, you're pro-birth, you're not pro-life. Yeah, I'm pro-life. Really, there's many people who want children but can't have any. Yeah, and I do hate the way adoption is, and foster care system, and all of it, It's like everything needs overhauled, but killing children is not the answer. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. People think that, is it Moloch? I think it's Moloch, is like no longer a thing. He's definitely a thing. I mean, he's Satan, the same as any of the false gods, but yeah, people are still sacrificing their babies. And we can say, oh, they're sacrificing it for convenience, or they're sacrificing it for this or that. But it's all evil. I do understand that some people, my parents will kill me or this or that. And I think parents need to not be that way, you know, not tell your kids, you better never end up pregnant, or you better never this or that. It's like I tell my kids, if you wind up in trouble, am I going to be happy? No, probably not. As far as, if they were to drink or do drugs or be at a party or whatever the case may be, if you ever screw up, you can always call me. It doesn't matter what the situation is. So, let's see. To be honest, I really want to adopt, but then I'll want all of them. I want them to know love and be loved. Yes. So true, Katrina. As someone who's taken advantage of, but she chose to keep her child. That's amazing. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I watch a guy who stands outside of abortion clinics. He used to be gay, and I think he was a cross-dresser, and he played basketball, and he made a lot of money and all this stuff. And then he found God, and God called him to do this, and he stands outside and preaches, and they've saved, last I heard, I think it was 85 babies, and then they support them through it too, with diapers, with scans, all sorts of stuff, and that's amazing. Well, and that another thing that people don't realize too is that it messes up your body too. And lately, there's more being uncovered about women who die because of it. They hemorrhage, or some of the other devices they use ahead of time and things like that, or infection. It's terrible. All right, on to more Bible here. And if anybody needs prayer, don't hesitate to ask, of course. Then Elisha said, Listen to the word of the Lord. Thus says the Lord, tomorrow about this time a measure of fine flour will be sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel in the gate of Samaria. The royal officer on whose hand the king was leaning answered the man of God and said, Behold, if the Lord should make windows in heaven, could this thing be? Then he said, Behold, you will see it with your own eyes, but you will not eat of it. Now there were 4 leprous men at the entrance of the gate, and they said to one another, Why do we sit here until we die? If we say, We will enter the city, then the famine is in the city, and we will die there. And if we sit here, we die also. Now therefore come, and let us go to the camp of the Arameans. If they spare us, we will live, and if they kill us, we will but die. That's a sad place to be, right? They arose at twilight to go to the camp of the Arameans. When they came to the outskirts of the camp of the Arameans, behold, there was no one there. For the Lord had caused the army of the Arameans to hear a sound of chariots and a sound of horses, even the sound of a great army, so that they said to one another, Behold, the king of Israel has hired against us the kings of the Hittites and the kings of the Egyptians to come upon us. Therefore they arose and fled in the twilight, and left their tents and their horses and their donkeys, even the camp just as it was, and fled for their life. When these lepers came to the outskirts of the camp, they entered one tent and ate and drank, and carried from there silver and gold and clothes, and went and hid them. And they returned and entered another tent, and carried from there also, and went and hid them. Then they said to one another, We are not doing right. This day is a day of good news, but we are keeping silent. If we wait until morning light, punishment will overtake us. Now therefore, come, let us go and tell the king's household. So they came and called to the gatekeepers of the city, and they told them, saying, We came to the camp of the Arameans, and behold, there was no one there, nor the voice of man, only the horses tied and the donkeys tied, and the tents just as they were. The gatekeepers, my mouth is not working. The gatekeepers called and told it within the king's household. Then the king arose in the night and said to his servants, I will now tell you what the Arameans have done to us. They know that we are hungry, therefore they have gone from the camp to hide themselves in the field, saying, When they come out of the city, we will capture them alive and get into the city. One of his servants said, Please let some men take 5 of the horses which remain, which are left in the city. Behold, they will be in any case like all the multitude of Israel who are left in it. Behold, they will be in any case like all the multitude of Israel who have already perished. So let us send and see. They took therefore 2 chariots with horses, and the king sent after the army of the Arameans, saying, Go and see. Give me just one second. Oh, hey, Rebel. Welcome. To those just coming in, if you need prayer, don't hesitate to ask. And I'm going to read the comments back here a little bit. Yeah, it got stuck. Okay. They went after them to the Jordan, and behold, all the way was full of clothes and equipment which the Arameans had thrown away in their haste. Then the messengers returned and told the king. So the people went out and plundered the camp of the Arameans. Then a measure of fine flour was sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel, according to the word of the Lord. Now the king appointed the royal officer on whose hand he leaned to have charge of the gate, but the people trampled on him at the gate, and he died just as the man of God had said, who spoke when the king came down to him. It happened just as the man of God had spoken to the king, saying, 2 measures of barley for a shekel, and a measure of fine flour for a shekel, will be sold tomorrow about this time at the gate of Samaria. Then the royal officer answered the man of God and said, Now behold, if the Lord should make windows in heaven, could such a thing be? And he said, Behold, you will see it with your own eyes, but you will not eat of it. And so it happened to him, for the people trampled on him at the gate, and he died. And that was chapter 7. Now Elisha spoke. Actually, I'm going to upsize my font here, I think. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Here we go, I think. Because my eyes are a little bit bleary from... Is that getting bigger? I have to scroll up a little bit to see it. Okay. Nope, I knew that was going to highlight. Oh, it's full size, I guess. I'm blind today. It's the headache and the muscle relaxer, I think, are working together. Let's see. You'd like to request a miracle for your humidifier to function correctly? Oh, no. I was actually thinking about getting a humidifier or like maybe a vaporizer for my lungs, but I really wasn't sure what to get. Have you taken it apart and fully cleaned it? Father God, put your hands on Katrina's humidifier and make it function for our Lord until she can get a replacement or heal it completely. We thank you in Jesus' name, amen. There. Well, we'll see if God ordains a healing for your machine. I actually just got 2 air purifiers for one near the litter box area and one near our laundry area, just so that everything smells good and is fresh, because a lot of dust in the mudroom where the laundry is and stuff like that. And of course, litter you don't want when they kick up the dust to be settling anywhere. And I think those are really nice. I caught a sale and got 2 of them almost for the price of one. So you actually showed up tonight, huh, Rebel? I was just telling the ladies here how I said, how dare you earlier. I just never quite know what to say. Because a lot of people, like pretty much every day, people are apologizing for not coming to the stream. And I'm like, because I like to harass people. That's just the truth of the matter. And most of the time I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. Because you never know until you really get to know people how they'll react to that. Like my ex would ask me why I have to harass people, because I used to be pretty heavy. And when nurses would take my blood pressure at the doctor or hospital or anything, I always had perfect blood pressure. And they would say, oh, wow, you have good blood pressure, And I'd be like, for a fat chick? And my husband hated it. He would be like, would you quit harassing people? And then they would, it's supposed to lighten the mood and make them laugh. And occasionally I'd get one that really thought it was funny, but I think they were scared to laugh. And then I would laugh and they'd be like, ha ha. I got a kick out of it anyway. Oh, I'm just terrible sometimes. So please know that about me, that I do like to harass people. But usually I say very quickly that I'm joking, especially when it's text-based. Okay, so I think I only got one response to if you could spend time with anybody from the Bible, aside from Jesus, who would it be and why? And we heard from Carla. She said Peter, and so did my son. And this was, oh, Paul's a good one too. I was surprised I hadn't heard that one yet. I feel like Nellie might have. Oh yeah, it's no fun when they don't laugh, is it? I I really like dad jokes. I'm basically a dad in that way. I will bust into my kid's room and say a joke, and Kenneth and Avery are so totally different. Avery, though, he'll be like, "I hate you, get out," you know? And then I'll knock something off of his shelf, flip the light off, and slam the door, you know? Whereas Kenneth, you know, he could never even. Oh, actually, he will say occasionally that he hates me, but then he realizes he's talking to me, but it's all in good fun. And I'll be like, "Kenneth, did you just say you hate me?" I always tell him I can't stand a single one of you guys when they crack me up. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. He was going live on his channel with his video games and stuff a lot, and his audience started requesting me. They wanted me to come on and tell a story about my life or this, that, or the other thing. I think he got tired of it. Well, if they actually said they hate me and like meant it and it was meant to be mean, it wouldn't be me laughing. I can tell you that. I can remember the first time each of my kids said they hated me. Kenneth, when he was little, he said it, and I just had to leave. I had to go outside because I was ugly crying terribly. I mean, it's when they're little, you know. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, wow. Imagine. There's so many people for so many different reasons. And to me, it wouldn't be all that important to spend a little bit of time here. It would be a cool experience or whatever, but someday we're going to be in heaven with these people, right? But I think Elisha, and I would say Elijah, but Elisha got two portions of Elijah. Two portions of his spirit came on Elisha. So I feel like that's who I'd go for. It's like a 2-for-1 deal, or is it a 3-for-1 deal? Nelly, you have something super duper again. Hey, you know, maybe we should ask Job. Let's meet with Job and be like, so what was the thorn in your side, bro? What was it? Also, was it shingles that he had? The boils? I think it might have been shingles. Yeah, I think Solomon. Oh, no Solomon slander will be tolerated. um, I do now. Yeah, I do. I think reading aloud changed it for me. Because I've read it aloud 3 times on here now, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I'd kind of like to see Solomon, and I don't know though, because my luck, I'd get him on a day where it was like, oh, oh, woe is me. Vanity of vanities, you know? And I mean, who could get any time to have lunch with Solomon when he's got 1,000 women to contend with, right? Goodness. Okay. Then Elisha said, "Listen to the word of the Lord. Thus says the Lord: Tomorrow about this time, a measure of fine flour will be sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel in the gate of Samaria." Did we just? Oh, I was gonna say it scrolled us back up, so I have to go back down. Remind me not to take a muscle relaxer right before I start talking on a stream. It's starting to kick in and my mind just keeps kind of glazing over. I only took a quarter of the pill, but let's see. What is that? Is that a candle? I am so blind. I'm going to have to turn up my screen here so I can see what your little emojis are. Oh, is it a duck or a goose? Oh, it's like, to me it looks like a baby in a basket. I am going to have to make it even bigger because I don't think that's what it is. Oh. Hey, Hugo. Oh, I get it. Yeah, I just was able to see. I don't know, on the laptop screen they look different than they do on my phone, so I can't even guess, I guess. How are you doing, Hugo? All right, I'm going to take a drink real quick and then get back into this. When when that happens to me, I say I fail at funny. But only because I'm blind and you had to explain it to me, and when we just got done talking about it's no fun if you have to explain the joke. Get it together, Katie. It is. It is funny. Yeah, my grandma had some of those too. They smelled nice. I don't remember if they had a smell. Okay, so now Hugo has joined us. If you could spend some time with or chat with anybody from the Bible, except for Jesus, who would it be, Hugo? Did James respond? He might be busy working. See, I'm doing good. Just saw your Discord message. I had the first youth meeting of the year that I helped with. Oh, awesome. I'm thinking I'll make you like socks and sweatpants and a hoodie and a hat, all covered in my little train. My little train. The little silly train thing that I made. Did you see what I called it? Yes, you, James. Who would you talk with from the Bible? Can't be Jesus. I was saying to Carla earlier, could it be an archangel? That might be cool. Ooh, 10 to 14. That's a fun age. Also a very precocious age. Ooh, Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't help myself. Did I miss the train? I wouldn't do that to you. Maybe some socks. No, I did. I only made it into a magnet. Okay. Now Elisha spoke to the woman whose son he had restored to life, saying, Arise and go with your household, and sojourn wherever you can sojourn, for the Lord has called for a famine, and it will even come on the land for 7 years. So the woman arose and did according to the word of the man of God, and she went with her household and sojourned in the land of the Philistines 7 years. Yeah, I get on Fourth Wall, I can order samples. I don't know if it's like one sample a month or something like that. But I was thinking about ordering the new beanies for my boys and a couple of the magnets. And so if I do that, I'm going to have to, well, if you want to share your address or whatever, I could send you one. Oh, it's just a corny little cheesy thing. At the end of 7 years, the woman returned from the land of the Philistines, and she went out to appeal to the king for her house and for her field. Now the king was talking with Gehazi, the servant of the man of God, saying, Please relate to me all the great things that Elisha has done. As he was relating to the king how he had restored to life the one who was dead, behold, the woman whose son he had restored to life appealed to the king for her house and for her field. And Gehazi said, My lord, O king, this is a woman, and this is her son, whom Elisha restored to life. When the king asked the woman, she related it to him. So the king appointed for her a certain officer, saying, Restore all that was hers and all the produce of the field from the day that she left the land even until now. I don't know why my lungs are kicking up now. Or not kicking up. I don't know. I'm going to use my inhaler really quick. I will be back in just a moment. Yeah, there were. Okay, let me see. I read that because he had worms, and I was like, who had worms? Okay. I'll read back a little bit here. Joseph. Oh, Daniel. That's a good one, too. Why didn't Noah go fishing? Because he only had 2 worms. Now I get where the worms came in. That's hilarious. They must have not existed back then because no way Noah made sure the mosquitoes were safe. Yeah. Then Elisha came to Damascus. Now Ben-Hadad, king of Aram, was sick, and it was told him, saying, The man of God has come here. The king said to Hazael, "Take a gift in your hand and go to meet the man of God and inquire of the Lord by him, saying, Will I recover from this sickness?" So Hazael went to meet him and took a gift in his hand, even every kind of good thing of Damascus, 40 camels loads, and he came and goodness, 40 camels loads, and he came and stood before him and said, "Your son Ben-Hadad, king of Aram, has sent me to you, saying, Will I recover from this sickness?" Then Elisha said to him, "Go say to him, you will surely recover, but the Lord has shown me that he will certainly die." He fixed his gaze steadily on him until he was ashamed, and the man of God wept. Hazael said, "Why does my Lord weep?" Then he answered, "Because I know the evil that you will do to the sons of Israel. Their strongholds you will set on fire, and their young men you will kill with the sword, and their little ones you will dash in pieces, and their women with child you will rip up." Then Hazael said, I think it's Hazael, said, "But what is your servant, who is but a dog, that he should do this great thing?" And Elisha answered, "The Lord has shown me that you will be king over Aram." Aram. So he departed from Elisha and returned to his master, who said to him, "What did Elisha say to you?" And he answered, "He told me that you would surely recover." On the following day, he took the cover and dipped it in water and spread it on his face so that he died. And Hazael became king in his place. Yeah, mosquitoes are not fun. I react terribly to any sort of biting insect. Fleas, mosquitoes, spiders, it's awful. Giant welts, super duper fun. Scroll back up here. All that clicking, my laptop makes a lot of noise on the little finger pad thing. Okay. Now in the 5th year of Joram, the son of Ahab, king of Israel, Jehoshaphat being then the king of Judah, Jehoram the son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, became king. He was 32 years old when he became king, and he reigned 8 years in Jerusalem. He walked in the way of the kings of Israel, just as the house of Ahab had done. For the daughter of Ahab became his wife, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord. However, the Lord was not willing to destroy Judah for the sake of David his servant, since he had promised him to give a lamp to him through his sons always. In his days, Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah and made a king over themselves. Then Joram crossed over to Zair, and all his chariots with him. And he arose by night and struck the Edomites who had surrounded him and the captains of the chariots. But his army fled to their tents. So Edom revolted against Judah to this day. Then Libnah revolted at the same time. The rest of the acts of Joram and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? How many times did I say that yesterday? It's always either, is it not written here or is it not written there? So Joram slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David, and Ahaziah, his son, became king in his place. In the 12th year of Joram, the son of Ahab, king of Israel, Ahaziah, the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, sorry guys, I'm just laughing at myself here, began to reign. Ahaziah was 22 years old when he became king, and he reigned 1 year in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Athaliah, the granddaughter of Omri, king of Israel. He walked in the way of the house of Ahab and did evil in the sight of the Lord. I'm shook. My flabbers are gasted. A king of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. Wild. like the house of Ahab had done, because he was a son-in-law of the house of Ahab. Then he went with Joram, the son of Ahab, to war against Hazael, king of Aram, at Ramoth Gilead, and the Arameans wounded Joram. So King Joram returned to be healed in Jezreel of the wounds which the Arameans had inflicted on him at Ramah, when he fought against Hazael, king of Aram. Then Ahaziah, I don't know, I'm tripping on that one tonight, the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, went down to see Joram, the son of Ahab, in Jezreel, because he was sick. And that was chapter 8. And now we are continuing on all the way through to 11. A scorpion? That's not cool. I love the name Athalia. It's very pretty. I had an experience with a black widow, actually. My husband, we were getting ready for a party, and he opened a piñata to stuff it with candy. And I'm sitting across from him, and we're getting ready to like put candy in this thing. And he said, "Get up and get out of the way." And I was like, "What?" Rude. Why? And he was like, "Just get up and get out of the way." And he had a black widow come out of the piñata onto his hand. So that was scary. My mom was bit by a brown recluse and had to have like an inch deep chunk taken out of her foot and a skin graft done and everything. Yes, in a piñata. It came shipped across the country or whatever that way. Now Elisha the prophet called one of the sons of the prophets and said to him, "Gird up your loins and take this flask of oil in your hand and go to Ramoth Gilead. When you arrive there, search out Jehu, the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi, and go in and bid him arise from among his brothers and bring him to an inner room. Then take the flask of oil and pour it on his head and say, 'Thus says the Lord, I have anointed you king over Israel.' Then open the door and flee and do not wait." So the young man, the servant of the prophet, went to Ramoth Gilead. When he came, behold, the captains of the army were sitting, and he said, "I have a word for you, O captain." And Jehu said, "For which one of us?" And he said, "For you, O captain." He arose and went into the house, and he poured the oil on his head and said to him, "Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, I have anointed you king over the people of the Lord, even over Israel. You shall strike the house of Ahab your master, that I may avenge the blood of my servants the prophets, and the blood of all the servants of the Lord at the hand of Jezebel. For the whole house of Ahab shall perish, and I will cut off from Ahab every male person, both bond and free in Israel. I will make the house of Ahab like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha the son of Ahijah. The dogs shall eat Jezebel in the territory of Jezreel, and none shall bury her." Then he opened the door and fled. Three separate times you got wailed upside your head? That's wild. That's terrible. Let's see. Stop getting near. Yeah, I wouldn't go near a pinata myself. The stick. Wait. Where did it go? It keeps scrolling up on me. 3 whole different parties. That's crazy. Your cousin dropped you. Never again. Pinatas. Not even once. That's why you're messed up. Yeah, I'm just going to start saying that. Don't mind Nellie. She was dropped on her head as a baby. Wait, on 3 separate occasions? Man, if I was your mom, Hugo, I'd be like, don't make me get the pinata stick. I don't need to see you. I'm sure you have a beautiful head. Oh my goodness, Katrina. I'd be standing near the rest of the people and somehow the person with the stick always found their way to me. That sounds a little pointed. Yes. Yeah, you know what? We will get them those big blow up balls that you go inside of, and you can like bounce and roll around in. We'll get them those. And we'll call them bubble babies. Oh, you're going? Okay, I hope you feel well. Sleep tight and dream sweet. Now Jehu came out to the servants of his master, and one said to him, "Is all well? Why did this mad fellow come to you?" And he said to them, "You know very well the man and his talk." They said, "It is a lie. Tell us now." And he said, "Thus and thus he said to me, Thus says the Lord, I have anointed you king over Israel." Then they hurried, and each man took his garment, placed it under him on the bare steps, and blew the trumpet, saying, "Jehu is king." So Jehu, the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi, conspired against Joram. Now Joram with all Israel was defending Ramoth-Gilead against Hazael, king of Aram. But King Joram had returned to Jezreel to be healed of the wounds which the Arameans had inflicted on him when he fought with Hazael, king of Aram. So Jehu said, "If this is your mind, then let no one escape or leave the city to go tell it to Jezreel." Then Jehu rode in a chariot and went to Jezreel, for Joram was lying there. Ahaziah, king of Judah, had come down to see Joram. Now the watchman was standing on the tower in Jezreel, and he saw the company of Jehu as he came, and said, "I see a company." And Joram said, "Take a horseman and send him to meet me, and let him say, 'Is it peace?'" So a horseman went to meet him and said, "Thus says the king, 'Is it peace?'" And Jehu said, "What have you to do with peace? Turn behind me." And the watchman reported, "The messenger came to them, but he did not return." Then he sent out a second horseman. Oh goodness, I'm not doing all that great tonight, guys. Sorry, I sound ridiculous. Then he sent out a second horseman, who came to them and said, Thus says the king, is it peace? And Jehu answered, what have you to do with peace? Turn behind me. The watchman reported, he came even to them, and he did not return, and the driving is like the driving of Jehu the son of Nimshi, for he drives furiously. I think I'm going to scoot these kittens over and lay on my pillow while I read. Okay. I have 5 kittens on my bed right now. Okay, guys. Oh, I am sorry to scoot you and disturb you. Then Joram said, get ready. And they made his chariot ready. Joram, king of Israel, and Ahaziah, king of Judah, went out, each in his chariot, and they went out to meet Jehu and found him in the property of Naboth the Jezreelite. Now I have to flop around and try to get comfortable. When Joram saw Jehu, he said, is it peace, Jehu? And he answered, what peace, so long as the harlotries of your mother Jezebel and her witchcrafts are so many? So Joram reigned about and fled and said to Ahaziah, there's treachery, O Ahaziah. Goodness. Nimshi sounds... yeah. Yeah, it does. It's not kimchi, though. It's Nimshi. Okay. And Jehu drew his bow with his full strength and shot Joram between his arms, and the arrow went through his heart, and he sank in his chariot. Then Jehu said to Bidkar, his officer, take him up and cast him into the property of the field of Naboth the Jezreelite, for I remember when you and I were riding together after Ahab his father, that the Lord laid this oracle against him. Do you hear it? Hugo, you didn't miss it tonight. We'll open the window for you. Oh, I guess it must be stopping down the street. Surely I have seen yesterday the blood of Naboth, and the blood of his sons, says the Lord. And I will repay you in this property, says the Lord. Now then, take and cast him into the property according to the word of the Lord. When Ahaziah the king of Judah saw this, he fled by the way of the garden house. And Jehu pursued him and said, shoot him too in the chariot. So they shot him at the ascent of Gur, which is at Ibleam. There it is. But he fled to Megiddo and died there. Then his servants carried him in a chariot to Jerusalem and buried him in his grave with his fathers in the city of David. It almost sounds pleasant tonight. It's like it's further off or something. Now in the 11th year of Joram, the son of Ahab, Ahaziah became king over Judah. When Jehu came to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it, and she painted her eyes and adorned her head and looked out the window. As Jehu entered the gate, she said, is it well, Zimri, your master's murderer? Then he lifted up his face to the window and said, who is on my side? Who? And two or three officials looked down at him. Jezebel was slain. That's just a title. Give me a second, guys. He said, "Throw her down." So they threw her down, and some of her blood was sprinkled on the wall and on the horses, and he trampled her underfoot. When he came in, he ate and drank, and he said, "See now to this cursed woman, and bury her, for she is a king's daughter." They went to bury her, but they found nothing more of her than the skull and the feet and the palms of her hands. Therefore they returned and told him, and he said, "This is the word of the Lord, which he spoke by his servant Elijah the Tishbite, saying, In the property of Jezreel the dog shall eat the flesh of Jezebel, and the corpse of Jezebel will be as dung on the face of the field in the property of Jezreel, so they cannot say, This is Jezebel." Now Ahab had 70 sons in Samaria, and Jehu wrote letters and sent them to Samaria to the rulers of Jezreel, the elders, and to the guardians of the children of Ahab, saying, "Now when this letter comes to you, since your master's sons are with you, as well as the chariots and horses and a fortified city and the weapons, select the best and fittest of your master's sons and set him on his father's throne, and fight for your master's house." But they feared greatly and said, "Behold, the 2 kings did not stand before him. How then can we stand?" And the one who was over the household, and he who was over the city, the elders and the guardians of the children, sent word to Jehu, saying, "We are your servants. All that you say to us we will do. We will not make any man king. Do what is good in your sight." Welcome to those just joining. God bless you. If you need prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. Give me just a second and I will get back to reading. I'm sorry, Wheezy. I didn't mean to disturb you. Little queenie face. I love you. Oh my goodness. Sorry, kittens. I I reached across to a basket on my bed to grab my other inhaler. And when I put it back, it started to fall out, so I tried to alley-oop it, but it fell out and hit Bagheera, and then I was like, oops, and I popped it back up in, and bam, it comes down on Daniel. I'm not having the best luck here tonight. Okay. Then he wrote a letter to them a second time, saying, "What do you sniff?" Well, he didn't say, "What do you sniff?" in the letter. Cracker, hey, what do you smell? Now I'm paranoid he's inhaling my inhaler or something. Turn on my fan for a minute. Okay. Then he wrote a letter to them a second time, saying, "If you are on my side and you will listen to my voice, take the heads of the men, your master's sons, and come to me at Jezreel tomorrow about this time." Now the king's sons, 70 persons, were with the great men of the city who were rearing them. When the letter came to them, they took the king's sons and slaughtered them, 70 persons, and put their heads in baskets and sent them to him at Jezreel. When the messenger came and told him, saying, "They have brought the heads of the king's sons," he said, "Put them in 2 heaps at the entrance of the gate until morning." Now in the morning he went out and stood and said to all the people, "You are innocent. Behold, I conspired against my master and killed him. But who killed all these? Know then that there shall fall to the earth nothing of the word of the Lord, which the Lord spoke concerning the house of Ahab, for the Lord has done what he spoke through his servant Elijah." Okay. So Jehu killed all who remained of the house of Ahab in Jezreel, and all his great men, and his acquaintances, and his priests, until he left him without a survivor. Then he arose and departed and went to Samaria. On the way, while he was at Betheked of the shepherds, Jehu met the relatives of Ahaziah, king of Judah, and said, "Who are you?" And they answered, "We are the relatives of Ahaziah, and we have come down to greet the sons of the king and the sons of the queen mother." He said, "Take them alive." So they took them alive and killed them at the pit of Betheked, 42 men, and he left none of them. Now when he had departed from there, he met Jehonadab, the son of Rechab, coming to meet him. No, you're not going to walk on the keyboard. And he greeted him and said to him, "Is your heart right, as my heart is with your heart?" And Jehonadab answered, "It is." Jehu said, "If it is, give me your hand." And he gave him his hand, and he took him up to him into the chariot. Okay, it was right. He said, "Come with me and see my zeal for the Lord." So he made him ride in his chariot. When he came to Samaria, he killed all who remained to Ahab in Samaria until he had destroyed him, according to the word of the Lord, which he spoke. I have to sit here and guard my laptop. Until he had destroyed him, according to the word of the Lord, which he spoke to Elijah. Then Jehu gathered all the people and said to them, "Ahab served Baal a little, Jehu will serve him much. Now summon all the prophets of Baal, all his worshippers, and all his priests. Let no one be missing, for I have great sacrifice for Baal. Whoever is missing shall not live." But Jehu did it in cunning, so that he might destroy the worshippers of Baal. And Jehu said, "Sanctify a solemn assembly for Baal," and they proclaimed it. Then Jehu sent throughout Israel, and all the worshippers of Baal came, so that there was not a man left who did not come. And when they went into the house of Baal was filled from one end to the other. He said to the one who was in charge of the wardrobe, "Bring out garments for all the worshippers of Baal." So he brought out garments for them. Jehu went into the house of Baal with Jehonadab, the son of Rechab, and he said to the worshippers of Baal, "Search and see that there is here with you none of the servants of the Lord, but only the worshippers of Baal." Then they went in to offer sacrifices and burnt offerings. Now Jehu had stationed for himself 80 men outside, and he had said, "The one who permits any of the men whom I bring into my hands," hang on just a sec, there we go, "to escape shall give up his life in exchange." Then it came about, as soon as he had finished offering the burnt offering, that Jehu said to the guard and to the royal officers, "Go in, kill them, let none come out." And they killed them with the edge of the sword, and the guard and the royal officers threw them out, and went to the inner room of the house of Baal. They brought out the sacred pillars of the house of Baal and burned them. They also broke down the sacred pillar of Baal and broke down the house of Baal and made it a latrine to this day. I love that. Okay. No. Thus Jehu eradicated Baal out of Israel. However, as for the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which he made Israel sin, from these Jehu did not depart, even the golden calves that were at Bethel and that were at Dan. The Lord said to Jehu, because you have done well in executing what is right in my eyes, and have done to the house of Ahab according to all that was in my heart, your sons of the fourth generation shall sit on the throne of Israel. But Jehu was not careful to walk in the law of the Lord, the God of Israel, with all his heart. He did not depart from the sins of Jeroboam, which he made Israel sin. In those days the Lord began to cut off portions from Israel, and Hazael defeated them throughout the territory of Israel, from the Jordan eastward, and all the land of Gilead, the Gadites and the Reubenites and the Manassites, from Aroer, which is by the valley of the Arnon, even Gilead and Bashan. Now the rest of the acts of Jehu and all that he did and all his might, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jehu slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria. And Jehoahaz his son became king in his place. Now the time which Jehu reigned over Israel and Samaria was 28 years. And, oh yeah, we are reading to 13 before we hit Chronicles. Yeah, I had my fan on high. Now it's on low, but I'm going to turn it off. I just wanted to clear the air to make sure when I exhaled my inhaler that my cats weren't inhaling it, which I'm sure they weren't, but I'm paranoid, so. When Athaliah, the mother of Ahaziah, saw that her son was dead, she rose and destroyed all the royal offspring. But Jehosheba, the daughter of King Joram, sister of Ahaziah, took Joash, the son of Ahaziah, and stole him from among the king's sons who were being put to death, and placed him and his nurse in the bedroom. So they hid him from Athaliah, and he was not put to death. So he was hidden with her in the house of the Lord 6 years, while Athaliah was reigning over the land. Now in the 7th year, Jehoiada sent and brought the captains of hundreds of the Kerites and of the guard, and brought them to him in the house of the Lord. Then he made a covenant with them, and put them under oath in the house of the Lord, and showed them the king's son. He commanded them, saying, this is the thing that you shall do. 1/3 of you who come in on the Sabbath and keep watch over the king's house, 1/3 also shall be at the gate, sir, and 1/3 at the gate behind the guards, shall keep watch over the house for defense. 2 parts of you, even all who go out on the Sabbath, shall also keep watch over the house of the Lord for the king. Then you shall surround the king, each with his weapons in his hand, and whoever comes within the ranks shall be put to death. And be with the king when he goes out and when he comes in. Read the comment. One of the games that I prepared for the kids was scrambling up the letter of chapters of the Bible and having them figure out, oh, that's cool. I'd have fun with that. Yeah, the books. So the captains of hundreds did according to all that Jehoiada the priest commanded. And each one of them took his men who were to come in on the Sabbath with those who were to go out on the Sabbath, and came to Jehoiada the priest. The priest gave to the captains of hundreds the spears and shields that had been King David's, which were in the house of the Lord. The guards stood each with his weapons in his hand, from the right side of the house to the left side of the house, by the altar and by the house around the king. Then he brought the king's son out and put the crown on him and gave him the testimony. And they made him king and anointed him, and they clapped their hands and said, "Long live the king." Welcome to those just coming in. God bless you. If you need prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. I can't even say hesitate, and I say that all the time. When Athaliah heard the noise of the guard and of the people, she came to the people in the house of the Lord. She looked, and behold, the king was standing by the pillar, according to the custom, with the captains and the trumpeters beside the king. And all the people of the land rejoiced and blew trumpets. Then Athaliah tore her clothes and cried, "Treason! Treason!" And Jehoiada the priest commanded the captains of hundreds who were appointed over the army, and said to them, "Bring her out between the ranks, and whoever follows her put to death with the sword." For the priest said, "Let her not be put to death in the house of the Lord." So they seized her, and when she arrived at the horses' entrance of the king's house, she was put to death there. Then Jehoiada made a covenant between the Lord and the king and the people, that they would be the Lord's people, also between the king and the people. All the people of the land went to the house of Baal and tore it down, his altars and his images they broke in pieces thoroughly, and killed Mattan the priest of Baal before the altars. And the priest appointed officers over the house of the Lord. He took the captains of hundreds, and the Kerites, and the guards, and all the people of the land, and they brought the king down from the house of the Lord, and came by the way of the gate of the guards to the king's house. And he sat on the throne of the kings. So all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was quiet, for they had put Athaliah to death with the sword at the king's house. Jehoash was 7 years old when he became king. And that was chapter 11. And we will be carrying on still to 13. Yep, he's the youngest in the Bible, if memory serves. I had that as a trivia question back in the summer when I used to play trivia on my channel. I did trivia and also Bible randomizer. I'm sure Hugo, well, maybe Hugo will remember that. No fighting. Okay. In the 7th year of Jehu, Jehoash became king, and he reigned 40 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Zibiah of Beersheba. Jehoash did right in the sight of the Lord all his days, in which Jehoiada the priest instructed him. Only the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and burned incense on the high places. I mean, if I were God, I might just want to be like flicking them off the side of the high place, you know? Then Jehoash said to the priests, "All the money of the sacred things which is brought into the house of the Lord, in current money, both the money of each man's assessment and all the money which any man's heart prompts him to bring into the house of the Lord, let the priests take it for themselves, each from his acquaintance, and they shall repair the damages of the house wherever any damage may be found." I think we'll have a trivia night again. Maybe like once a month or something like that. just play trivia and chat. And the Bible randomizer is always fun too. Were you still around when Kenneth coded me my own Bible randomizer, Hugo? But it came about that in the 23rd year of King Jehoash, the priests had not repaired the damages of the house. Then King Jehoash called for Jehoiada the priest and for the other priests and said to them, "Why do you not repair the damages of the house? Now therefore take no more money from your acquaintances, but pay it for the damages of the house." So the priests agreed that they would take no more money from the people nor repair the damages of the house. But Jehoiada the priest took a chest and bored a hole in its lid and put it beside the altar on the right side as one comes into the house of the Lord. And the priests who guarded the threshold put in it all the money which was brought into the house of the Lord. When they saw that there was much money in the chest, the king's scribe and the high priest came up and tied it in bags and counted the money which was found in the house of the Lord. They gave the money which was weighed out into the hands of those who did the work, who had the oversight of the house of the Lord, and they paid it out to the carpenters and the builders who worked on the house of the Lord, and to the masons and the stonecutters, and for buying timber and hewn stone to repair the damages to the house of the Lord, and for all that was laid out for the house to repair it. But there were not made for the house of the Lord silver cups, snuffers, bowls, trumpets, any vessels of gold, or vessels of silver from the money which was brought into the house of the Lord. For they gave that to those who did the work, and with it they repaired the house of the Lord. Moreover, they did not require an accounting from the men into whose hand they gave the money to pay to those who did the work, for they dealt faithfully. The money from the guilt offerings and the money from the sin offerings was not brought into the house of the Lord, it was for the priests. Then Hazael, king of Aram, went up and fought against Gath and captured it, and Hazael set his face to go up to Jerusalem. Jehoash, king of Judah, took all the sacred things that Jehoshaphat and Jehoram and Ahaziah, his fathers, the kings of Judah, had dedicated, and his own sacred things, and all the gold that was found among the treasuries of the house of the Lord and of the king's house, and sent them to Hazael, king of Aram. Then he went away from Jerusalem. Now the rest of the acts of Joash and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? His servant arose and made a conspiracy and struck down Joash at the house of Millo as he was going down to Silla. From Jozachar the son of Shimeath and Jehozabad the son of Shomer, his servant, struck him and he died, and they buried him with his fathers in the city of David, and Amaziah his son became king in his place. And that was chapter 12. Oh, hey, Tanner. I'm glad you came by. Oh, I didn't realize I was muted. Give me just a second. Oh, one of those, huh? In the 23rd in the 23rd year of Joash the son of Ahaziah, king of Judah, Jehoahaz the son of Jehu, became king over Israel at Samaria, and he reigned 17 years. He did evil in the sight of the Lord and followed the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, with which he made Israel sin. He did not turn from them. So the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he gave them continually into the hand of Hazael, king of Aram, and into the hand of Benhadad, the son of Hazael. Then Jehoahaz entreated the favor of the Lord, and the Lord listened to him, for he saw the oppression of Israel, how the king of Aram oppressed them. The Lord gave Israel a deliverer, so that they escaped from under the hand of the Arameans, and the sons of Israel lived in their tents as formerly. Nevertheless, they did not turn away from the sins of the house of Jeroboam, with which he made Israel sin. He walked in them, and the Asherah also remained standing in Samaria. For he left to Jehoahaz of the army not more than 50 horsemen and 10 chariots and 10,000 footmen, for the king of Aram had destroyed them and made them like the dust at threshing. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoahaz, and all that he did, and his might, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jehoahaz slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria, and Joash his son became king in his place. In the 37th year of Joash king of Judah, Jehoash the son of Jehoahaz became king over Israel in Samaria and reigned 16 years. He did evil in the sight of the Lord. He did not turn away from all the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, with which he made Israel sin, but he walked in them. Now the rest of the acts of Joash and all that he did, and his might with which he fought against Amaziah king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So Joash slept with his fathers, and Jeroboam sat on his throne, and Joash was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. When Elisha became sick with the illness of which he was to die, Joash the king of Israel came down to him and wept over him and said, my father, the chariots of Israel and its horsemen. Elisha said to him, take a bow and arrows. So he took a bow and arrows. Then he said to the king of Israel, put your hand on the bow, and he put his hand on it. Then Elisha laid his hands on the king's hands. He said, open the window toward the east, and he opened it. Then Elisha said, shoot, and he shot. And he said, the Lord's arrow of victory, even the arrow of victory over Aram, for you will defeat the Arameans at Aphek until you have destroyed them. Then he said, take the arrows, and he took them, and he said to the king of Israel, strike the ground. And he struck it 3 times and stopped. So the man of God was angry with him and said, you should have struck 5 or 6 times, then you would have struck Aram until you would have destroyed it. But now you shall strike Aram only 3 times. Elisha died, and they buried him. Now the bands of the Moabites would invade the land in the spring of the year. Of the year. Hey Luke, how are you doing tonight? Yes, he is. Amen. As they were burying a man, behold, they saw a marauding band, and they cast the man into the grave of Elisha. And when the man touched the bones of Elisha, he revived and stood up on his feet. And that's another reason why I'd want to chat with Elisha, you know. Now Hazael king of Aram had oppressed Israel all the days of Jehoahaz, but the Lord was gracious to them and had compassion on them and turned to them because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and would not destroy them or cast them from his presence until now. When Hazael king of Aram died, Benhadad his son became king in his place. Then Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz, took again from the hand of Benhadad the son of Hazael the cities which he had taken in war from the hand of Jehoahaz his father. 3 times Joash defeated him and recovered the cities of Israel. And now we are headed to 2 Chronicles 24. How's everybody doing? You hanging in there? Did it scroll up on me or scroll down? There it is. I think we're supposed to be in... Yeah, why did it do that? Okay. There we are. I'm going to take a drink, and then I will continue reading. Joash was 7 years old when he became king, and he reigned 40 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Zibiah from Beersheba. Joash did what was right in the sight of the Lord all the days of Jehoiada the priest. Jehoiada took 2 wives for him, and he became the father of sons and daughters. Now it came about after this that Joash decided to restore the house of the Lord. He gathered the priests and Levites and said to them, "Go out to the cities of Judah and collect money from all Israel to repair the house of your God annually, and you shall do the matter quickly." But the Levites did not act quickly. So the king summoned Jehoiada, the chief priest, and said to him, "Why have you not required the Levites to bring in from Judah and from Jerusalem the levy fixed by Moses, the servant of the Lord, on the congregation of Israel for the tent of the testimony?" For the sons of the wicked Athaliah had broken into the house of God and even used the holy things of the house of the Lord for the Baals. Ugh, imagine. No, she had some appointments going on and stuff, so we should be discussing it tomorrow and come up with a day. She's pretty open though, so I'm thinking next Saturday, not tomorrow, but next Saturday will probably be the day, but I will keep you posted for sure. So the king commanded, and they made a chest and set it outside by the gate of the house of the Lord. They made a proclamation in Judah and Jerusalem to bring to the Lord the levy fixed by Moses, the servant of God, on Israel in the wilderness. All the officers and all the people rejoiced and brought in their levies and dropped them into the chest until they had finished. It came about whenever the chest was brought into the king's officer by the Levites, and when they saw that there was much money, then the king's scribe and the chief priest's officer would come, empty the chest, take it, and return it to its place. Thus they did daily and collected much money. The king and Jehoiada gave it to those who did the work for the service of the house of the Lord, and they hired masons and carpenters to restore the house of the Lord, and also workers in iron and bronze to repair the house of the Lord. So the workmen labored, and the repair work progressed in their hands, and they restored the house of God according to its specifications and strengthened it. When they had finished, they brought the rest of the money before the king and Jehoiada, and it was made into utensils for the house of the Lord, utensils for the service and the burnt offering, and pans and utensils of gold and silver. And they offered burnt offerings in the house of the Lord continually all the days of Jehoiada. Now when Jehoiada reached a ripe old age, he died. He was 130 years old at his death. They buried him in the city of David among the kings, because he had done well in Israel and to God and his house. But after the death of Jehoiada, the officials of Judah came and bowed down to the king, and the king listened to them. They abandoned the house of the Lord, the God of their fathers, and served the Asherim and the idols. So wrath came upon Judah and Jerusalem for this their guilt. Yet he sent prophets to them to bring them back to the Lord. Though they testified against them, they would not listen. Then the Spirit of God came to Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada the priest, and he stood above the people and said to them, "Thus God has said, why do you transgress the commandments of the Lord and do not prosper? Because you have forsaken the Lord, he has also forsaken you." So they conspired against him, and at the command of the king they stoned him to death in the court of the house of the Lord. Thus Joash the king did not remember the kindness which his father Jehoiada had shown him, but he murdered his son. And as he died, he said, "May the Lord see and avenge." Now it happened at the turn of the year that the army of the Arameans came up against him, and they came to Judah and Jerusalem, destroyed all the officials of the people from among the people, and sent all their spoil to the king of Damascus. Indeed, the army of the Arameans came with a small number of men, yet the Lord delivered a very great army into their hands, because they had forsaken the Lord, the God of their fathers. Thus they executed judgment on Joash. When they had departed from him, for they left him very sick, his own servants conspired against him because of the blood of the son of Jehoiada the priest, and murdered him on his bed. So he died, and they buried him in the city of David, but they did not bury him in the tombs of the kings. Now these are those who conspired against him: Zabad the son of Shimeath the Ammonitess, and Jehozabad the son of Shimrith the Moabitess. As to his sons and the many oracles against him and the building of the house of God, behold, they are written in the treatise of the book of the kings. Then Amaziah his son became king in his place. Welcome to those just coming in. God bless you. If anybody needs prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. So we're going back into Kings, 2 Kings 14, and then into 2 Chronicles 25, and then we are in Jonah. Sorry, I saw Daniel sleeping like that, and I just had to get that picture. In the second year of Joash, son of Joahaz, king of Israel, Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, became king. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jehoiadin of Jerusalem. He did right in the sight of the Lord, yet not like David his father. He did according to all that Joash his father had done. Only the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and burned incense on the high places. Now it came about, as soon as the kingdom was firmly in his hand, that he killed his servants who had slain the king his father. But the sons of the slayers he did not put to death, according to what is written in the book of the law of Moses, as the Lord commanded, saying, The fathers shall not be put to death for the sons, nor the sons be put to death for the fathers, but each shall be put to death for his own sin. He killed of Edom in the valley of Salt 10,000, and took Selah by war, and named it Joktheel to this day. Then Amaziah sent messengers to Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, Come, let us face each other. Jehoash, king of Israel, sent to Amaziah, king of Judah, saying, The thorn bush which was in Lebanon sent to the cedar which was in Lebanon, saying, Give your daughter to my son in marriage. But there passed by a wild beast that was in Lebanon, and trampled the thorn bush. You have indeed defeated Edom, and your heart has become proud. Enjoy your glory and stay at home, for why should you provoke trouble so that you, even you, would fall, and Judah with you? But Amaziah would not listen. So Jehoash, king of Israel, went up, and he and Amaziah, king of Judah, faced each other at Bethshemesh, which belongs to Judah. Judah was defeated by Israel, and they fled each to his tent. Then Jehoash, king of Israel, captured Amaziah, Amaziah, king of Judah, the son of Jehoash, the son of Ahaziah, at Bethshemesh, that's a mouthful, that whole sentence, and came to Jerusalem and tore down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate, 400 cubits. He took all the gold and silver and all the utensils which were found in the house of the Lord and in the treasuries of the king's house, the hostages also, and returned to Samaria. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoash, which he did, and his might, and all he fought with Amaziah, king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So Jehoash slept with his fathers and was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel, and Jeroboam his son became king in his place. Amaziah the son of Joash, king of Judah, lived 15 years after the death of Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel. Now the rest of the acts of Amaziah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? They conspired against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish, but they sent after him to Lachish and killed him there. Then they brought him on horses, and he was buried at Jerusalem with his fathers in the city of David. All the people of Judah took Azariah, who was 16 years old, and made him king in the place of his father Amaziah. He built Elath and restored it to Judah after the king slept with his fathers. In the 15th year of Amaziah the son of Joash, king of Judah, Jeroboam the son of Joash, king of Israel, became king in Samaria and reigned 41 years. He did evil in the sight of the Lord. He did not depart from all the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which he made Israel sin. He restored the border of Israel from the entrance of Hamath as far as the sea of the Arabah, according to the word of the Lord, the God of Israel, which he spoke through his servant Jonah, the son of Amittai, the prophet, who was of Gath-hepher. For the Lord saw the affliction of Israel, which was very bitter, for there was neither bond nor free, nor was there any helper for Israel. The Lord did not say that he would blot out the name of Israel from under heaven, but he saved them for the hand of Jeroboam the son of Joash. Now the rest of the acts of Jeroboam and all that he did and his might, how he fought and how he recovered for Israel Damascus and Hamath, which had belonged to Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jeroboam slept with his fathers, even with the kings of Israel, and Zechariah his son became king in his place. Okay, now we will be carrying on to 2 Chronicles 25. Give me just a moment to take a drink and I'll get back into it. Amaziah was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jehoaddan of Jerusalem. He did right on the side of the Lord, yet not with a whole heart. Now it came about, as soon as the kingdom was firmly in his grasp, that he killed his servants who had slain his father the king. However, he did not put their children to death, but did as it is written in the law of the book of Moses, which the Lord commanded, saying, Fathers shall not be put to death for sons, nor sons be put to death for fathers, but each shall be put to death for his own sin. Moreover, Amaziah assembled Judah and appointed them according to their fathers' households under commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds throughout Judah and Benjamin, and he took a census of those from 20 years old and upward and found them to be 300,000 choice men, able to go to war and handle spear and shield. He hired also 100,000 valiant warriors out of Israel for 100 talents of silver. But a man of God came to him, saying, O king, do not let the army of Israel go with you, for the Lord is not with Israel, nor with any of the sons of Ephraim. But if you do go, do it, be strong for the battle, yet God will bring you down before the enemy, for God has power to help and to bring down. Amaziah said to the man of God, But what shall we do for the 100 talents which I have given to the troops of Israel? And the man of God answered, The Lord has much more to give you than this. Then Amaziah dismissed them, the troops which came to him from Ephraim, to go home. So their anger burned against Judah, and they returned home in fierce anger. Now Amaziah strengthened himself and led his people forth and went to the valley of Salt and struck down 10,000 of the sons of Seir. The sons of Judah also captured 10,000 alive and brought them to the top of the cliff and threw them down from the top of the cliff so that they were all dashed to pieces. But the troops whom Amaziah sent back from going with him to battle raided the cities of Judah from Samaria to Beth Horon and struck down 3,000 of them and plundered much spoil. Now after Amaziah came from slaughtering the Edomites, he brought the gods of the sons of Seir, set them up as his gods, bowed down before them, and burned incense to them. Then the anger of the Lord burned against Amaziah, and he sent him a prophet who said to him, Why have you sought the gods of the people who have not delivered their own people from your hand? As he was talking with him, the king said to him, Have we appointed you a royal counselor? Stop. Why should you be struck down? Then the prophet stopped and said, I know that God has planned to destroy you, because you have done this and have not listened to my counsel. Then Amaziah, king of Judah, took counsel and sent to Joash the son of Jehoahaz, the son of Jehu, the king of Israel, saying, Come, let us face each other. Joash, the king of Israel, sent to Amaziah, king of Judah, saying, The thorn bush which was in Lebanon sent to the cedar which was in Lebanon, saying, Give your daughter to my son in marriage. But there passed by a wild beast that was in Lebanon and trampled the thorn bush. You said, Behold, you have defeated Edom, and your heart has become proud and boasting. Now stay at home, for why should you provoke trouble so that you, even you, would fall and Judah with you? But Amaziah would not listen, for it was from God that he might deliver them into the hand of Joash, because they had sought the gods of Edom. So Joash, king of Israel, went up, and he and Amaziah, king of Judah, faced each other at Bethshemesh, which belonged to Judah. Judah was defeated by Israel, and they fled each to his tent. Then Joash, king of Israel, captured Amaziah, king of Judah, the son of Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, at Bethshemesh, and brought him to Jerusalem and tore down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim. Hang on a second. To the corner gate, 400 cubits. He took all the gold and silver and all the utensils which were found in the house of God with Obed-Edom, and the treasures of the king's house, the hostages also, and returned to Samaria. And Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, lived 15 years after the death of Joash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel. Now the rest of the acts of Amaziah, from first to last, behold, are they not written in the book of the kings of Judah and Israel? From the time that Amaziah turned away from following the Lord, they conspired against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. But they sent after him to Lachish and killed him there. Then they brought him on horses and buried him with his fathers in the city of Judah. And that was chapter 25. And we are headed on to Jonah. How are you guys doing? Oh, where am I going? Wait, I'm going the right way. And Jonah is only 4 chapters. And then we will be in Isaiah, I believe. Give me just a moment here and I will get started. So they cast lots, and the lot fell on Jonah. Now, on whose account has this calamity? What is your occupation? He said to them, I am a Hebrew, and I fear the Lord God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land. Then the men became extremely frightened, and they said to him, How could you do this? For the men knew that he was fleeing from the presence of the Lord, because he had told them. So they said to him, What should we do to you that the sea may become calm for us? For the sea was becoming increasingly stormy. He said to them, Pick me up and throw me into the sea. Then the sea will become calm for you. For I know that on account of me this great storm has come upon you. However, the men rowed desperately to return to land, but they could not, for the sea was becoming even stormier against them. Then they called on the Lord and said, We earnestly pray, O Lord, do not let us perish on account of this man's life, and do not put innocent blood on us. For you, O Lord, have done as you have pleased. So they picked up Jonah, threw him into the sea, and the sea stopped its raging. Then the men feared the Lord greatly, and they offered a sacrifice to the Lord and made vows. And the Lord appointed a great fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the stomach of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. And that was chapter 1 of Jonah. Then Jonah prayed to the Lord his God from the stomach of the fish, and he said, I called out of my distress to the Lord, and he answered me. I cried for help from the depth of Sheol. You heard my voice. For you had cast me into the deep, into the heart of the seas, and the current engulfed me. All your breakers and billows passed over me. So I said, I have been expelled from your sight. Nevertheless, I will look again toward your holy temple. Water encompassed me to the point of death. The great deep engulfed me. Weeds were wrapped around my head. I descended to the roots of the mountains. The earth with its bars was around me forever. But you have brought up my life from the pit, O Lord my God. While I was fainting away, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came to you, into your holy temple. Those who regard vain idols forsake their faithfulness, but I will sacrifice to you with a voice of thanksgiving. That which I have vowed I will pay. Salvation is from the Lord. Then the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah up onto the dry land. And that was chapter 2. I'm not sure if maybe the chat is not working. Oops, just a moment here. Where'd it go? Okay. Open it back up. Nope, I guess everybody is just listening in the background, and that's okay. I just always want to make sure that I'm not ignoring anybody. Welcome to those just coming in. If you need prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. We are heading into Jonah chapter 3, and I will start that here in just a moment. Okay. We are in Jonah chapter 3. With sackcloth, he issued a proclamation, and it said, in Nineveh, by the decree of the king and his nobles, do not let man, beast, herd, or flock taste a thing. Do not let them eat or drink water. But both man and beast must be covered with sackcloth, and let men call on God earnestly, that each may turn from his wicked way, and from the violence which is in his hands. Who knows? God may turn and relent and withdraw his burning anger, so that we will not perish. When God saw their deeds, that they turned from their wicked way, then God relented concerning the calamity which he had declared he would bring upon them, and he did not do it. And that was chapter 3 of Jonah. But it greatly displeased Jonah, and he became angry. He prayed to the Lord and said, please, Lord, was not this what I said while I was still in my own country? Therefore, in order to forestall this, I fled to Tarshish, for I knew that you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger and abundant in loving kindness, and one who relents concerning calamity. Therefore now, O Lord, please take my life from me, for death is better to me than life. The Lord said, do you have good reason to be angry? Then Jonah went out from the city and sat east of it. There he made a shelter for himself and sat under it in the shade until he could see what would happen in the city. So the Lord appointed a plant, and it grew up over Jonah to be a shade over his head to deliver him from his discomfort. And Jonah was extremely happy about the plant. But God appointed a worm when dawn came the next day, and it attacked the plant, and it withered. When the sun came up, God appointed a scorching east wind, and the sun beat down on Jonah's head so that he became faint and begged with all his soul to die, saying, "Death is better to me than life." Then God said to Jonah, "Do you have good reason to be angry about the plant?" And he said, "I have good reason to be angry, even to death." Then the Lord said, "You had compassion on the plant for which you did not work, and which you did not cause to grow, which came up overnight and perished overnight. Should I not have compassion on Nineveh, the great city in which there are more than 120,000 persons who do not know the difference between their right and left hand, as well as many animals?" And that was the book of Jonah. Okay. All right, so we are not going right into Isaiah. We're headed to 2 Kings 15. In the 27th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, Azariah, son of Amaziah, king of Judah, became king. He was 16 years old when he became king, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Jecholiah, of Jerusalem. He did right in the sight of the Lord according to all that his father Amaziah had done. Only the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and burned incense on the high places. The Lord struck the king so that he was a leper to the day of his death. And he lived in a separate house, while Jotham the king's son was over the household, judging the people on the land. Now the rest of the acts of Azariah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And Azariah slept with his fathers, and they buried him with his fathers in the city of David, and Jotham his son became king in his place. In the 38th year of Azariah, king of Judah, Zechariah the son of Jeroboam became king over Israel and Samaria for 6 months. He did evil in the sight of the Lord, as his fathers had done. He did not depart from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which he made Israel sin. Then Shallum the son of Jabesh conspired against him, and struck him before the people, and killed him, and reigned in his place. Now the rest of the acts of Zechariah, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. This is the word of the Lord which he spoke to Jehu, saying, "Your sons to the 4th generation shall sit on the throne of Israel." And so it was. Shallum son of Jabesh became king in the 39th year of Uzziah, king of Judah, and he reigned 1 month in Samaria. Then Menahem son of Gadai went up from Tirzah and came to Samaria, and struck Shallum son of Jabesh in Samaria, and killed him, and became king in his place. Now the rest of the acts of Shallum and his conspiracy which he made, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. Then Menahem struck Tiphsah and all who were in it and its borders from Tirzah, because they did not open to him. Therefore he struck it and ripped up all its women who were with child. In the 39th year of Azariah, king of Judah, Menahem, son of Gadai, became king over Israel, and reigned 10 years in Samaria. He did evil in the sight of the Lord. He did not depart all his days from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, which he made Israel sin. Pul, king of Assyria, came against the land, and Menahem gave Pul 1,000 talents of silver, so that his hand might be with him to strengthen the kingdom under his rule. Then Menahem exacted the money from Israel, even from all the mighty men of wealth, from each man 50 shekels of silver to pay the king of Assyria. So the king of Assyria returned and did not remain there in the land. Now the rest of the acts of Menahem and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Menahem slept with his fathers, and Pekahiah his son became king in his place. In the 50th year of Azariah king of Judah, Pekahiah son of Menahem became king over Israel and Samaria, and reigned 2 years. He did evil in the sight of the Lord. He did not depart from the sins of Jeroboam son of Nebat, which he made Israel sin. Then Pekah son of Remaliah his officer conspired against him, and struck him in Samaria in the castle of the king's house with Argob and Ariah, and with him were 50 men of the Gileadites, and he killed him and became king in his place. Now the rest of the acts of Pekahiah and all that he did. Hey! Bagheera, leave your sister alone. She's still sleeping. You little goose. Come here. You go snuggle with Gammy. Alright. Now the rest of the acts of Pekahiah and all that he did, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. In the 52nd year of Azariah, king of Judah, Pekah son of Remaliah became king over Israel and Samaria, and reigned 20 years. He did evil in the sight of the Lord. He did not depart from the sins of Jeroboam son of Nebat, which he made Israel sin. In the days of Pekah, king of Israel, Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, came and captured Ijon and Abel-Beth-Maachah, and Genoa, and Kadesh, and Hazor, and Gilead, and Galilee, and the land of Naphtali, and he carried them captive to Assyria. And Hoshea the son of Elah made a conspiracy against Pekah the son of Remaliah, and struck him and put him to death, and became king in his place, in the 20th year of Jotham the son of Uzziah. Now the rest of the acts of Pekah and all that he did, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. You're being sweet, Gary baby. Oh. In the 2nd year of Pekah the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, Jotham the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, became king. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Jerusha, the daughter of Zadok. He did what was right in the sight of the Lord. He did according to all that his father Uzziah had done. Only the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and burned incense on the high places. He built the upper gate of the house of the Lord. Now the rest of the acts of Jotham and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? Welcome to those just coming in. If you need prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. God bless you. You may hear the kittens purr, and I do have my fan on in the background. I hope that's not too bothersome. In those days, the Lord began to send Rezin, king of Aram, and Pekah the son of Remaliah against Judah. And Jotham slept with his fathers, and he was buried with his fathers in the city of David his father, and Ahaz his son became king in his place. And that was chapter 15 of 2 Kings. And now we will go to 2 Chronicles chapter 26. When I have my phone case off, it's way different than when it's on, because with this phone, the edges go over the side, so you can be touching the edge of your phone, and it's like you're touching the screen. It's Kind of annoying. And I'm going to take just a second and I will carry on reading as soon as I return. Okay. And all the people of Judah took Uzziah, who was 16 years old, and made him king in the place of his father Amaziah. He built Eloth and restored it to Judah after the king slept with his fathers. Uzziah was 16 years old when he became king, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jechaliah of Jerusalem. He did right in the sight of the Lord according to all that his father Amaziah had done. He continued to seek God in the days of Zechariah, who had understanding through the vision of God, and as long as he sought the Lord, God prospered him. I have been trying to write a Bible study for Zechariah, but it's very involved, so I may actually look for a good study. So if anybody has any recommendations on that, let me know, because I usually do prophecy night on Tuesdays, and I had postponed that because Zechariah was the next choice to go to, and I just haven't been able to crack that out yet. Now he went out and warred against the Philistines and broke down the wall of Gath and the wall of Jabneh and the wall of Ashdod, and he built cities in the area of Ashdod and among the Philistines. God helped him against the Philistines and against the Arabians who lived in Gur-baal and the Meunites. The Ammonites also gave tribute to Uzziah, and his fame extended to the border of Egypt, for he became very strong. Moreover, Uzziah built towers in Jerusalem at the corner gate and at the valley gate and at the corner buttress and fortified them. He built towers in the wilderness and hewed many cisterns, for he had much livestock, both in the lowland and in the plain. He also had plowmen and vine dressers in the hill country and the fertile fields, for he loved the soil. Moreover, Uzziah had an army ready for battle, which entered combat by divisions according to the number of their muster, prepared by Jael, the scribe, and Messiah, the official, under the direction of Hananiah, one of the king's officers. The total number of the heads of the households of valiant warriors was 2,600. Under their direction was an elite army of 307,500 who could wage war with great power to help the king against the enemy. Moreover, Uzziah prepared for all the army's shields, spears, helmets, body armor, bows, and sling stones. In Jerusalem, he made engines of war invented by skillful men to be on the towers and on the corners of the purpose of the shooting arrows, and for the purpose of the shooting arrows and great stones. Hence his fame spread afar, for he was marvelously helped until he was strong. But when he became strong, his heart was so proud that he acted corruptly, and he was unfaithful to the Lord his God. For he entered the temple of the Lord to burn incense on the altar of incense. Then Azariah the priest entered after him, and with him 80 priests of the Lord, valiant men. They opposed Uzziah the king and said to him, "It is not for you, Uzziah, to burn incense to the Lord, but for the priests, the sons of Aaron, who are consecrated to burn incense. Get out of the sanctuary, for you have been unfaithful and will have no honor before the Lord God." But Uzziah, with a censer in his hand for burning incense, was enraged. And while he was enraged with the priests, the leprosy broke out on his forehead before the priests in the house of the Lord, beside the altar of incense. Azariah, the chief priest, and all the priests looked at him, and behold, he was leprous on his forehead. And they hurried him out of there, and he himself also hastened to get out, because the Lord had smitten him. King Uzziah was a leper to the day of his death, and he lived in a separate house, being a leper, for he was cut off from the house of the Lord. And Jotham his son was over the king's house, judging the people of the land. Now the rest of the acts of Uzziah, first to last, the prophet Isaiah, the son of Amoz, has written. So Uzziah slept with his fathers, and they buried him with his fathers in the field of the grave, which belonged to the kings, for they said, he is a leper. And Jotham his son became king in his place. And that was chapter 26 of 2 Chronicles.